This is a pretty different video from what I usually make, and truth be told, I'm not even sure if I would have ever made a video like this, but it kind of ties into my standing with the channel now. So, for anyone who has been watching this channel, I guess this is more of a personal video. And if for whatever reason the YouTube algorithm has decided to show this to someone who's never seen my videos before, then hello, I guess. You ever have something that you really want to do, but the fire just isn't there, or whatever you need to do is it's not turning on, or it's not coming on? That's kind of how I feel right now. Back in October 2024, I watched a movie adaptation of the manga one shot Look Back, and it literally changed my life. Even though it was just a few months ago, watching that movie ignited something in me. Like, it made me realize that, yes, I'm gonna pursue my true passion, that being content creation. And I credit that movie to taking me to where I am right now. Now, like I said, it was literally only a few months ago, but even a span of time that short, in retrospect, is enough to change someone's life. At least I think so. And if you look at my uploaded videos, you'll see that the October to early November time has the most videos that I've ever uploaded within a short span of time, because that's when the fire was ignited for me. And if you did look at my uploaded videos, you'll also notice that I don't have much of a channel history. This channel was only started last year, but I actually have a previous channel that I had, and I still have access to it, but I wanted to start fresh, among other things. And you'll see that that channel has existed since 2014, and I was uploading on it since 2014. Now, were they good videos? No. Anywhere near the quality of what I have right now? No. But I mean, I was also much younger back then. But that brings us to now. My goal for 2025 is to upload at least one video every month. And that's just a goal that I set for myself in order to get the consistency rolling. Because I'm sure that anyone can tell you that consistency in whatever you're doing in life is key. Unless you're one of those content creators who only posts once a year but still gets an insane amount of support, in which case it's probably the content and quality that's consistent or even getting better. So it's April, and I seem to be holding the streak well enough. Technically, my New Year's special was supposed to be uploaded on December 31st, but I posted it an hour after midnight. So it technically counts as the video for January in my time zone. So coming back to the present, I haven't really decided on what I should do for an April video. And ironically, you're currently watching a video in April about me talking about all this. But I had a couple ideas, and they all kind of just fell through. I've been planning an April Fool's commentary video. Actually, two, now that I think about it. I even made the thumbnail for one and got a bit into the scripting. And I did the scripting for another one, but I never did a thumbnail for that one. But I realized that for the first one, I didn't have much to talk about. And I just scrapped both of them. Maybe I'll talk about it next year, I don't know, but I guess it just wasn't really going to work out for me. So it's currently spring break at the time of me recording this, and I wanted to use this time to make some progress on the videos for April, whatever that might have been. While I'm on this break, I was contemplating on what to make or what to talk about, and I wasn't actually sure what to make. Now, I have, I have, all right, bro. I have ideas, plenty of them, so much so that I have a whole Google Doc for the sole purpose of putting down my ideas for the future. But I didn't really feel like doing any of them. It's weird. It's like you got a wide open shop, but you don't take it. Now, I probably could have done something from that list, but I felt like they were all a little too long for the short amount of time that I'm probably only going to have. It's already Friday, because once I'm back to school, the workload is probably not going to get any lighter from then on. So I had a couple ideas, and I might actually make these videos that I'm about to talk about in the future, although I guess it just depends. My first idea was to make a video about a specific arc in this manga called Overrev. I even went back and reread it, which it was just as good as I remembered. I made a thumbnail for it, and you're probably wondering, why would you make the thumbnail before the script? Don't ask me. I just like to get my ideas onto some kind of realization. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's not, my workflow is not consistent, to be honest. But if I have the vision for something specific, then I like to get that out of the way first before working on the stuff that I need to think more about. So I made the thumbnail, and I load up a new doc to work on the script, and I wasn't even sure how to begin it. Now, I know I'm being vague, but it's because, listen, I don't want anyone stealing the idea, okay? Unless you're willing to pay me, then by all means. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I'm not actually sure what I want to say about this. And I'm sure my AP Lit teacher would probably be disappointed in me, especially because that's like part of the reason why I chose that class, so I could learn how to dissect and analyze fiction. But it just wasn't really clicking, so I gave up on that. My second idea was to make a video about this manga called Osananajimi no koukosei no aida ni nikutai kankei wa suretsu suru ka? I know my tone and pronunciation was completely botched. I read the first two chapters and I was like, wow, this is actually a pretty interesting premise. For those who haven't read it, the initial setup is a group of 4 high schoolers that are given 4 million to spend within a certain amount of time. And they have to spend it all before the time runs out. And I was intrigued. Now, that isn't all of what this manga is about. It's also a suggestive rom-com. I wouldn't say ecchi level, but the fan service is there. And that would be a given considering the translated title of this manga. Now, despite the translation of the title, I was still intrigued in seeing where this overarching moral of a group of high schoolers being given the money goes. And, I like a good rom-com, even if it's just surface level. We could like things even if they aren't the cream of the crop, right? And it got a couple of chuckles out of me every once in a while. The suggestiveness is neither here nor there for me. Maybe I'm just desensitized to it. So I had about a half a page of script, which was just an introductory segment, and I was only 2 chapters in. So I decided to read the rest of the translated chapters because it's an ongoing manga and there's only 7 chapters in English so far. And after the third chapter, there really isn't much surrounding the money moral aspect that they introduced in the first chapter. And that was a bit of a letdown. Now I know that I only read 7 chapters, but I did skim through up to chapter 14, and there's not really anything relating to that either from all the Google translating that I did. Most of the chapters is just suggestive rom-com. My intention for the video was to be focused on the money aspect of the moral, but there's not much for me to go back on in the manga and say what kind of commentary it has. And maybe I should have guessed, judging from the mangaka's other works that are mainly ecchi, but I don't know. I was just expecting something a little more grander. Uh, Now, like I said, the manga is still ongoing, at least as of right now. And maybe the next chapter completely satisfies my expectations of what I thought it was going to be about. But that's just not what it is right now. So I scrapped that video idea too. So basically, after having 4 unsuccessful attempts at some kind of video, even though I didn't actually do much work, I felt really demotivated or lost. I was supposed to have a video or at least a script in progress by now, but my break is already almost over and I've got nothing to show for it. And that thought process of, oh, I'm falling behind schedule and these ideas should really be put off for later when I have more time. They've been eating at me pretty hard. And I know they say if you have the opportunity to do something, then do it. But even so, the flame just won't ignite sometimes, no matter how bad I want to get it moving. It's like you're turning the key for the ignition, but the car just won't start no matter what you do. It's only been about 6 months since October, and the fire is going out. I'm not even a big content creator or anything, but the burnout is real. And all of that is just only one factor of my mental state, I guess. So let's get into the other stuff that's been bugging me. The world is getting worse day by day. I'm not a politics channel, and I sure don't want to talk about it if I could avoid it, but it's getting unavoidable. And I'm not trying to be like a gloomy doomer kind of guy, but like, it's tough. It really is. Like, it's getting harder to live in the world's current circumstances as every day passes. And that's all I'll say about that. My college life so far, it's not been the worst, but as of recently, it's just felt like, man, there's no point. And never mind the job market, I'm failing at freaking discrete math. Technically not though, I have a D+, but I hate that course so much with a passion that even though it's the only course that I'm doing bad at, and like all my other courses are at a B+ or higher, it just feels like the whole world is crashing down on me. I've never failed a class in my entirety of schooling, which probably does not amount to much considering I'm in the American education system. But like this is college. It's different. And I'm sure you can guess what year I'm in based on my current realizations, but like I'm paying for this core class and it's just such a pain in the ass that I don't know if I'm going to pass. And I don't know, that's about like 300 or so wasted, and it's a course that I need for my degree. Computer science, it's not even my true passion. I mean, I did some programming in high school, which kind of led me to pursuing comp sci in college, and I didn't really think there was anything else that I wanted to do. But these theoretical courses, man, there's a lot to them. And this is just my first one. Like, I got a 65 on my midterm, and who knows what that means for my final? And maybe you're wondering, like, if this isn't your true passion, then why are you doing it? And my answer to that would be for the same reason that 90% of people are getting their degrees, to have a stable career. So, with the time and mental strength that's been taken for the priority, which is my degree, I haven't had much time to work on videos as much as I had hoped. And truth be told, at least half of that is really just due to poor time management. But, I mean, I don't know. There's still, like, the burnout aspect of it, too. And one more negative thing. I've kind of been feeling recently that, like, I've been going through, like, overconsumption. Now, I don't have TikTok. I don't scroll on Instagram that much anymore. My Twitter app is actually broken ever since the blackout last month, and I don't want to update my app because I don't want to change it to X. So I've just been on YouTube for about the past month. And on YouTube, I never really venture out of whatever I watch, whatever I typically watch. Occasionally I will, but mostly not. And like, I watch commentary content, so of course other commentary channels will be suggested to me because of the algorithm. And the more and more I sift through these commentary channels, the more negative stuff that's just being talked about. And like, I don't think that's necessarily to the fault of any of these people, but it's just that combined with the fact that I'm constantly being shoved with it because of YouTube's algorithm, it's just really draining. I mean, even the stuff that I normally watch that don't have anything to do with like the bad parts of the world are getting a little draining. And that's coming from someone who likes to replay videos a lot and listen to them like podcasts. The Unlucky Tug, Lost Media videos, VTubers, Scott Kramer, aka the guy who won the Danimal sweepstakes, although apparently not. Somehow it's just not hitting the same. I sound like an addict. Although maybe I'm addicted to podcasting YouTube videos. So I've been trying to watch stuff that I think doesn't completely consume me and lifts me up. Like, I've been rewatching classic Thomas episodes from like the 80s and 90s. If you're a fan, then you know. I've been rewatching some older Corey X Kenshin videos, and that's also been working to a certain extent. Speaking of which, I love watching the more serious videos of his. The videos where he has the talk. Again, if you're a fan, then you know. And the same thing with Jacksepticeye's second channel. But yeah, it's not completely helped, but it's certainly been a little better, specifically catering what I watch. I don't know if that was the right grammar or whatever, but I don't care. 2 days ago, I read this doujinshi. It's a Toho one shot called Flan Wants to Die. I'm not gonna get into spoilers because I think it's actually a great read, and I'm saying that as someone who doesn't even know that much about lore about Toho. Although I'm guessing that you could probably predict what it's about based on the title. But it left me with this kind of somber mood, and that's basically what led me to reflecting my reflecting on my current state surrounding my burnout of life. So that's basically where I'm at for those who care. I don't think there will be another video in April, but never say never, I suppose. Although hopefully that means that I could dedicate more time into coming up with something for May. I still want to achieve that goal of at least one video a month, just for my sake. And there's a lot more that I could probably talk about, but it's not. You already got the main gist. If you've somehow gotten all the way here, so yeah, that's about it. Maybe I'll see you in May, and hold on until then. Shoutouts if you got the reference.